You are now listening to the Drunken Monks Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I am Marlo Brown. That's Denise Faber. I keep doing it wrong. There we go. And we are the Drunken Monks. Welcome to another episode, y'all.
Boa noite.
Denise, good evening, sweetheart. What's good?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Did you get the beach in that you were talking about last week? Did you get the beach into your system?
A little. Could have been more. Today was actually my beach day, but it was raining all day.
Like, yeah, man.
Really raining.
Some bad baby making weather, boy. Echt,
I did go to the beach, and I got a couple of more days, so it's gonna be all right.
So you're actually on vacation right now?
Yeah, I took a little time off.
All right, cool. All right. Since apparently we have fans, and since apparently the fans have been noticing things, I will ask the question that we didn't ask last week. What are you drinking, sweetheart?
I'm drinking the Denise today. I got a friend, Lizanne, good friend of mine, friend of the show. She got me my own cocktail for my birthday. So she got a mixologist who wrote up a recipe, and I just mixed it, and it's good.
You know, I was about to hit you with the narcissistic line, but if it's somebody else that did it for you, that I could, and especially if it's the great Lisa and Charles, you know what I mean? Like, I could leave that one alone. But what the hell is it then exactly? Like, what is mixed? It has to be sour. Because it has to be sour. So
well, yeah, you're right. But it also sweet, huh? I'm sweet and sour.
You're sweet and sour, like pineapple, I guess. Eat me if you want to have no. Ew. All right. We starting good.
I'm not sure, but anyhow, it got all my favorite drinks. It got not Zacapa. It got a Flor de Caña rum.
Okay.
It got lime for the sourness. It got sugar water. It got some bitters. It got prosecco, and it got mint. So that is just my thing.
Okay. All right. So that's where it went left, because up until you say prosecco, that was like a tea punch right there. Like, real talk. Now, and I know you know tea punch.
I know tea punch. I love tea punch.
This is what I'm saying. How the hell is a tea punch? I do not understand for our culture how booze fixes damn near everything. Tea punch is like a cold remedy. Yeah. You have a cold partner, just drink a tea punch, man. You're gonna be good. You'll be good and knocked out.
Remedy, man. Tea punch is everything, man. Medicine. It's a cold medicine. It's a heartache, heartbreak.
Depression. We're not making light of like mental issues, y'all. We're just saying, okay? So before people come after us and cancel us, you know, how the hell you gonna cancel a podcast is my shit. But anyway, all right. I think that we have chit chatted a bit. Do you want to get into it, love?
All right, let's start.
Let's get into it.
All right. I saw recently in the news that the current government, who still got just a couple of days left, wants to change the coat of arms of Curacao. And for this, they have convened or established a commission. Anybody from the public who wanted could have participated or could have applied to partake in the commission. And I think the commission right now, it consists of, I think, about 7 people with different backgrounds. The foresitter, so the president, I guess, of the commission is somebody from government, and the secretary is also the secretary of, is it, you call it secretary? Secretaris? Is it a secretary? Mm-hmm. Of the Council of Ministers, also in the commission, and for the rest, it's just the public. Mm. They have a historian, anthropologist, a design, a design expert. So they have experts in different fields to be in the commission, and the idea is that the public can draw a design and just send it in to the commission. The commission will select or pre-select 10 winning designs, and then the public the 10, I think that the designs with the public can vote for the design. So you can send in your design, and then we can vote for the best design.
Okay.
From our voting, they will come up with 10 best designs, and then the commission will choose from these 10 designs the top 3. And the top 3 they will send off to the Council of Ministers, and then hopefully a new coat of arms will be chosen. The timeline for this is they want the new coat of arms on Dia de Bandera, the Flag Day, which is July 2nd, which I think is extremely short. It's very, very ambitious. But I thought it was interesting. And I think it is a great development for us to redesign our coat of arms. And they actually said we're not going to design a coat of arms because a coat of arms is very specific. It has very specific rules that you have to follow. It has to be heraldic, so it has to do with all these traditions and symbols and Middle Age stuff and shizzle. And they're thinking more of an emblem. So there's a difference between a coat of arms and an emblem. And coat of arms, like I said, is from the Middle Ages, and it usually has to do with monarchies. We're still a monarchy, but the government says we have to move forward. We need to do, or it's good for our nation building, and it's good for the formation of our national identity. So they're coming up with a new emblem, something that represents a Curacao. So what do you think about that, Marlo?
Well, as you give it to me here, I got a couple of ideas. I won't tell you no lie. The pragmatist in me is asking why, like why and why now and whatnot, and so and also how much does this cost? Right now, even if you got the money for it, or if it's predetermined from another thing, or if there's a subsidy for it, or it's not even that expensive. I can imagine people making fodder of should this be done now, and with the government being broke or all these things or whatever, people have to take a pay cut and whatnot. I can imagine that certain people would take a little bit of an offense to it, but I'll put a pin in that. If it's just on its face, I'm always for symbols and I'm always for telling the story. I think that you and I share that well, you know? But at the same time, people who are sending in the designs I'm hoping that it's not like there was a story, I think back in Norway or some shit, that they had left the naming of a particular ship, like a new ship of the Navy or some shit, and they left it completely open to the public, and the public got behind like one of the worst names ever, like your mother's nanny or some shit, you know what I mean? Like a dumb name, and everybody had such a keeks with it that they kind of run with it, you know? So I'm hoping that somebody don't have like a sarcastic streak and then put like a satay patata with like a gold tooth or some fuck, you know, like some dumbness. Whereas it like, you know, like it's fun, but at the same time, it's not quite kind of representative.
Yeah. So yeah, but wait. You said a lot of things and a lot of things to jump into. I think the main discussion at this point is that people are saying, yeah, right now it's not the time. Indeed, the state of affairs, like this is not a priority. We got so many issues. Why are we going to focus on this? We ain't got no money. Blah 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 blah. As to that, I'm saying like, yeah, but there's never a right time for emancipation. You know, our country has been broke for I don't know how long. I think we didn't have any real economic growth for the last 20 years. Like, gaan we over 20 jaar? Like, how long are we gonna wait? You know? And the coat of arms that we have right now is not of this time. It's not representative of the people who live here. Nobody recognized, or hardly anybody recognized themselves in the coat. I will describe the code in a second.
Right.
I think yes, we need to get with the times. I have no idea what the kostenplaatje is, so how much this will cost. But I'm assuming that people in the commission that it's voluntary, so that won't cost any money. And
Right.
finally at the end of the tunnel, you're going to slowly have to change the governor the government's signage, like the letterheads and all that kind of thing. Maar
Exactly.
I think that the costs zullen meevallen. I can't imagine that this is going to be a very, very expensive production.
Eh,
The
eh.
government at this moment has a great team at the communication and information service with graphic designers and everything. If you're looking at all the things surrounding COVID, all the announcements that are coming out and all the promotional videos, it looks quite good. So we have the specialties in house. So yeah, but as to the cost, I cannot talk. But like I said, there is never a good time for
No, all right, but no, but I would want to jump into something, or rather ask a question, and this time just ask, not give a monologue. You said that this could be a means of emancipation. I would like for you to dig a little deeper into that, if you don't mind.
It could be a means of.
Emancipation. You said the words emancipation.
Oh yeah, because like do you know how our coat of arms, like what our coat of arms look like?
Not a fucking clue.
You don't know?
Not a clue, sweetheart. I am barely learning where all the barrios is still 6 years later. Like, and it's not for lack of wanting to learn. It is me interested in what it is to be here, but I won't say no. And I actually commend the Curacao for this. There's a lot there, and it seems to be a lot, and it seems that you need at least 2-3 Sherpas to guide you through certain things, and where that one is concerned, I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to go dig into the history like of the place beyond. I know about Shell, I know about Trinita de May, of course, I know about its role in World War II. Those things that are kind of, like on the surface and is cool, fine, but deeper down, the coat of arms and all the little things and the symbols, nah, Dread, I don't even know about
You
that.
missed the
But why don't you
nationalistic, the patriotism class. You missed that one, Marlo.
right. But no, but why don't you describe the coat of arms basically for me then?
Okay, the coat of arms is like, it's a shield. Like usually the coats are like a shield, like the shield that knights used to carry. And actually, coat of arms were the signature of certain knights, so you could recognize them. And so it was it was a message. This is me. This is who I am, and fear me. And so our coat of arms is also a shield. And on top of the shield, you have a crown. The crown, of course, monarchy. We're still part of a kingdom. Then on the right side of the shield, you have a tree with oranges in it. People say it's the Laraha tree, the orange that grows here in Curacao, and from which blue Curacao is made.
Right.
But
right.
Everybody knows. I don't know. Okay, I can't say everybody knows, but I think what a lot of people, at least on the islands, do not realize, appeltjes van Oranje is also a reference to the royal family. So we can say it's a Laraha, but we have
open to interpretation.
We have to be conscious of that the shield or the coat of arms actually only came into existence in 1964, which I find very strange. Like in 64, I would think this coat of arms is from 1800 or something, but it's from 1964 and by mission, I think, with Dutch people. So I'm thinking that the oranges, we can say it's Laraha, maar it is the appeltjes van Oranje, the Oranje from the royal family. In the middle of the is it a crest? Can you say, is it a crest? No.
I can imagine that they can use crest, yes.
In the middle of the shield, you have the wapen or the symbols of Amsterdam, the 3 axes. And the 3 axes actually are Amsterdam. And was very, people say, but it signifies our good relations with the city of Amsterdam. No, it don't. Amsterdam, the Kamer van Amsterdam, so the Chamber of Amsterdam, used to be the organization within the West Indian Company that used to rule Curacao, that did the administration of Curacao. So they were in charge of where our government is seated is still called Fort Amsterdam. It's after the chamber of the West India Company. For those who don't know, the West India Company was a company that pirated here and brought enslaved peoples from Africa, or kidnapped people in Africa, enslaved them, and then brought them to Curacao to work here or to sell them to other places. So that is in the middle. And then on the left side, you have a pirate ship, is what people call it, but it's gewoon the WIC, the West Indian Company ship. And it used to be very obviously a West Indian Company ship because it had the flag of, like there were 3 flags, or there's still 3 flags on the ship. The first flag was the flag of Holland, rood, wit, blauw, red, white, and blue. The middle one used to be the flag of Amsterdam. And the last one used to be the flag of the West Indian Company. But at a certain moment, people thought that was not so nice. So they changed the flag of the West Indian Company to a Dutch flag. But it used to be a West India Company flag.
Right.
The whole thing is just a reminder of colonialism. 1964, it was introduced. Then you would think, like, why in 1964 are you coming with this bull crap? I mean...
wait a minute. And believe it or not, you gave us a good touch point for later on in the show as well. Is it not fair to say that it is interesting to hold on to the symbols of oppression to know where the oppression came from, or to be reminded where the oppression came from? In the zin van, like the art might be offensive or the symbol might be offensive, but it also serves a purpose. Is there a question of that? Sorry.
To me, it's not offensive. It's not offensive. It is a painful reminder of our past. And I'm like, you cannot erase history. And I think it's important to teach about colonialism, to teach about slavery, to teach about the Second World War, to teach about all these atrocities that happened and that still have real life consequences for people living today. Exactly. It's important to teach that, to show that, to so that people know. You need to know. So I'm not for maybe taking down all statues, like statues of former colonizers, of former kidnappers, whatever. I'm not saying do away with those. I'm saying, for example, with those statues, I think they have historic value. So when you present those statues, you need to present the full story. So you're not going to say, this is our national hero, like whatever, Piet Hein in Holland. This
Episode 3, y'all.
He had the silver float. He had the silver fleet, and he brought us the golden age, whatever. But next to it, you need to have a thing. He also, I don't know much about Piet Hein, so it's a wrong example. But you should also explain. Well, he killed loads of Mexicans. He was busy with slavery. He stole something of resources, something like that. So to me, you cannot have the statue of Piet Hein in the middle of town on the Brionplein, which is the Brion Square is the most important square in Curacao, where on the Flag Day, we host a flag there with Christmas celebration there. New Year's, the celebrations there, any big event is on the Brionplein. So no, you're not going to give a statue like that such prominence. I'm not saying take it away and dump it in the Sint Annabai. No, yes, we need these statues for historic value. So also with the coat of arms, yes, you can have references to our colonial past, but like as I explained, the whole coat of arms is een and all colonialism. It's nothing but colonialism. And a coat of arms or an emblem, which is what it's going to be, needs to be a symbol of the people. People need to be able to recognize themselves in it. And I don't think at the moment, with all these references to colonialism, a lot of people can identify with it. So yes, I do agree you could have part of the past in it, and I think it's important and it needs to be recognized. But I think you also need to incorporate an element of our ambition, not only for like who we are and who we want to be recognized as, and what is important to us as Curacalians or Curaçaoan people. But I think it's also great that it will give a direction of who we strive to be, or who like where we want to go. So
Right.
yeah, that thing needs to be changed. And yeah, references to the past are okay, but it needs to be balanced, and you need to have the proper context for it.
Okay, so then I will ask just one last thing because our producer's looking at us and telling us that it's almost time. Um, what would that look like in your view, or do you have just a like just you being you, you're king for a day? What would that look like to you? Because for me, if I had to look at the current one and what you would want to go to, for us, it's colonialism. For Nederland, it's like their victory lap. This was when we were at our highest, and this was at our power. These are our achievements. I would posit then to have a coat of arms be the achievements and the high points of the Curacao as well. I am not being facetious with this when I say I wouldn't know what that looks like. I honestly wouldn't know what to put as, yo, this is us at our best, and everybody recognizes it. You know what I mean?
All right. Okay. But rewind before I give you my opinion. Okay. You wouldn't know what it looks like. I also, it is too big for me to think about just off the cuff like this. But what are some of the, don't think in images, but just think about what are some of the traits, character traits, if you can call it like that, of Curaçaoans. If you can generalize and you think about the people, what do you say are positive things that are really here? Yeah. Do you have any?
Me?
Yeah.
Pride. Good, bad, or ugly. Pride. Pride in a sense of self, and like rabid holding on to that part of your culture, even though it's problematic if you dig a little deeper and you get into the cracks of it. Sorry, but there's a certain pride in knowing where you come from and what it is. There's also family here. Like I think family is Jesus Christ. I'm like belching like a madman. No, family is a big thing here. Family is definitely also, again, you could meet and nag the fucking thing to death, and you could say, yeah, it's problematic because patriarchy, kiko kiko. But family here has a solid base, a solid thing. I also think, and somebody would have to correct me, but I also think that the arts here have a bigger view than in most spots. I don't know about Aruba per se, but I can tell you that in Bonaire, in Saba, in Statia, maybe St. Martin, maybe not. It's arguable. But like theater is done here. A lot of poetry, a lot of literature came out of here. A lot of so-called higher arts, and it's still being strived towards today. Whether or not it's being done well, again, that's a debate or whatnot and so. But those are the things that I could readily grab onto. I don't know if you want to put sports upon that, and I genuinely, and again, I'm not being facetious. I think that here has some kick-ass talent and some athletes that have gone to put this place on the map. That's what I would hold on to. That's what I would touch.
So I think that's a good uitgangspunt, a good point of
Right.
departure. These things, and then like a creative person can think about visual symbols that accompany, that signify those things that you mentioned. I think those are good. To me, in the coat of arms, definitely we need to put the sea, like something with the sea. We're an
Yeah.
island surrounded by
Yeah.
the sea. We came off the sea like lava, which was pushed, tectonic plates, blah, 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 to the surface.
Look at
Everybody here came by boat in the beginning. You had the indigenous people from mainland South America. Then you had the Spanish and the Dutch came in boats. The enslaved people came in boats. So we are off the sea. So the sea has to be we were a pirates. Well, there was a lot of handel, how you call it, a lot of trade
Yeah.
taking place. So the sea has always been a central part of us.
But
I
I would
would,
give you
yeah.
But I would give you one even stronger. The sea was also, for as long as I know, all the islands had a heavy kind of a fisherman type of a background around as well. Before there
Also,
was Vaytailed and all that type of stuff, people used to live off of fishing. And
the,
so, yeah, I could definitely see that. And yeah,
the
apparently,
sea,
pardon
and
the
we,
pun.
if you think about that even further back, like the salt picking. Okay, it's no Bonaire, but
Right,
we had our andil of salt. So like the sea, something with the sea. I think.
right.
I'm thinking maybe like a trupial. This is a typical bird um, from the ABC Islands, and I'm thinking trupial because it's a very colorful bird, and I think we are colorful people. You know, you see it in the houses, but we're just colorful in every way. So maybe the bird to signify the colors and the joy and the uniqueness, and then something, I don't know, something of diversity. I don't have an image for that in my head, but
Mm.
we are a diverse nation. We're a
Melting
multicultural,
pot.
like most Caribbean islands, like so many, like a mengelmoose of different things. So I'm thinking along those lines, but I have no clue, and I have no talent for drawing. So I'm definitely
I
not
ain't do
gonna
it.
I'm
I
not
ain't.
gonna hand in the design, but I think it's a nice process,
All right.
and it needs to happen.
All right. Do you want to end it off here? I think this is a good, nice little stopping point, toch? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Whee! All right, so I got my drink again. Apparently, I'm poor because
I'm
she
still on my
she
Denise.
made
So.
fun of me and my drink. God damn it! As long as I
Me?
get drunk, what the fuck?
I know, man.
Name on. No, but all right, people. All right. So D, I will just
Yo,
jump straight into it. Yeah, you were a Looney Tunes fan back in the day.
I didn't watch TV, man.
You know, Bugs Bunny, just Bugs Bunny. Were you a fan of Bugs Bunny? Do you like Bugs Bunny? Do you know of Bugs Bunny?
I know of Bugs Bunny. I did not watch enough Bugs Bunny to tell you if I was a fan or not. I guess it was funny. I don't know.
All right, so then I'll just jump straight into it. Do you know the skunk that was part of that whole pantheon
Yeah,
as
Pepe
well?
Le Pew.
Pepe Le Pew,
He was French.
French,
He
yes,
was always in love
because
or something.
no, love ain't the word. I mean, love is kind of the word, but came over heavily as lust as well. But anyway, we're gonna get to that. But yeah, Pepe Le Pew, stereotypical Frenchman back in the 40s or whatever. He was a lover boy, or at least in his mind he was. But whoever that he was trying to romance, and sometimes it was a guy. He thought it was a girl. But anyway, that's another story.
I need to rewatch these. I need to watch these things
Yes, you do, because these things are fucking
because the
funny.
knowledge you have now, probably you're gonna be like, "What? Wait a minute," you know.
Yo,
But
dude,
as a kid,
dude,
yeah.
dude, let me tell you something. And this is just a small tangent. I am so blessed that my daughter likes like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and what, because I watched some of them with her. But like the classic ones, like the Wabbit season, Duck season, she does the routine with me now. She's seen it so much. Yes, so I mean, I say Wabbit season, she says Duck season, and then we go back and forth, and she hits every move. But anyway, so but I bring up this to bring up the point. This summer, the new Space Jam movie is about to drop with LeBron James. And if anybody that knows the pop culture a little bit, Space Jam was the movie with Michael Jordan and all the Looney Tunes. So Pepe Le Pew included, right? And
You
Pepe Le
know,
Pew
funny
wasn't.
thing, I bought the soundtrack of Space Jam because I used to get allowance, stock sales when I was young, and I would save it and I would buy CDs. I would actually go to the music store, which was in Bloempot by Suikertuintje, and I would buy CDs. And I bought the Space Jam soundtrack, but I never seen Space Jam, you know?
You never
So
seen
I don't
Space
know
Jam?
what kind of stupidness the soundtrack was actually very good, but I was singing all these things and I never saw the movie.
Believe it or not, while the movie doesn't quite hold up, it was quite entertaining at the time, and it wasn't just a cash grab or something like that. Like it was actually pretty cool. You know what I mean? And again, Pepe Le Pew was a part of that Matrix, was a part of that whole thing. That was in 1995, maybe 96, somewhere there. So,
No, lady, no. Space
right?
Jam was later. Space Jam must have been 2000, like 1998, 97, 98. I would
No,
say.
well, anyway, but we're nitpicking here. But
Yeah, true.
anyway, 20 years ago, right?
Lord, are we that
20
old?
years ago. But now, especially after Me Too and everything else, Pepe Le Pew is persona non grata.
All right, 1996. You're right. Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew is persona non fucking grata. Pepe Le Pew is canceled, y'all. Pepe Le
Well,
Pew, as a property of Warner Brothers, he was slated to appear as a fictional character. He was slated to appear in a scene, by the way, that was described as somebody addressing, like the girl from Jane the Virgin, addressing his problematic behavior and telling him to stop it, right? But Warner Brothers deemed this too problematic in and of itself, or the character too toxic itself, and they pulled him from the movie. And they
but
have
I don't
also
understand. I don't understand why couldn't they have that scene? I think that is a very teachable scene. Like at least you show this is the bullshit. We don't want it no more. Get
I'm
your act
gonna get
together.
to I am gonna
Now
get to
all
that.
together, why them they're out?
I am gonna get to that because that is the one that really chaps my ass. A little, grinds my gears. But again, let me just like walk this through, right? So what happened? So they have decided to pull this, and they also kind of made a half a statement where it's like he's not a part of any project going forward. So like right now, WB is having a bit of a small kind of a renaissance. One on the DC side with all of the comic book stuff, and one on but on the other side with all of his other properties. And Looney Tunes is being basically one of them. They had the Animaniacs reboot. They are having a Tiny Toons reboot. They're having a lot of reboots and a lot of things that are coming back up and whatnot. And Pepe Le Pew ain't gonna be in none of them. That's what they said. That's what is gonna be done. That combined with another story that came up this week as well, just right after we recorded last week, and we couldn't touch on it. But Dr. Seuss also, like the estate of Dr. Seuss, came out and said that they were about, like, of all the books that he has written, about 6 of them have about problematic things, like stereotypical back in the day depictions of like Asian men and that type of thing. And so they themselves, not people called for the boycott, they themselves, the estate themselves, out of the blue, decided that they were going to pull these books, that they're not going to be sold like anymore. And certain people in the States, whether that you find it genuine or not, I find it a little bit disingenuous, but we'll leave it at that.
Why?
They had a shit fit. They decide, why the fuck are you pulling Dr. Zeus? And it's a children's story, and it's lovable, and it's all of this, and cancel culture has run amok, and all of this, and one and so. And those 2 stories led me to a thought and a question: has cancel culture gone too far? And are we in danger of having that type of shit here? And here as in the region, as in here, Samaritan, the Caribbean, or one and so. So let me ask you that first.
Has cancel culture gone too far? Well, I don't know. And we really do not know cancel culture. I find on Curacao. You pull some shit, people gonna be upset for 3 days, and then we move on to the next drama. So
exactly.
but
all right.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask it is because I genuinely feel, and it's probably the circles that I roll in, but I feel like I gotta watch what I say these days. I feel, and this is before
Why?
the show, but no, before
I jump on you anytime, Marlo. So just don't watch what you say.
Yeah, no, you because you're an equal opportunity ass kicker, and I do enjoy that about you. But at the same time, but it does feel like you can't make certain jokes anymore. It does like whatever that's going on, like in the States and in Nederland,
I just
is
that you can't
slowly
make it.
creeping in. You know what I mean? You don't find so like you don't find that you can't. I can't make a midget joke, even though I'm half a midget, but damn self. You can't make certain radical jokes anymore. You can't make black jokes for damn sure, and
No, but
especially if you're white. That's
why are you can't make those jokes? They were always inappropriate. They were just two little people pushing back. So it was never really funny. Yeah, to you it was funny. A select few it was funny. But in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't funny. And there are so many other things that you can make jokes about. So why
funny
be
is
hung up
subjective,
on?
Liv. Funny is subjective. It is very much a thing of if you touch on a truth, but it happens to be uncomfortable, it could be funny. I
Okay.
I love the uncomfortable comics. Sorry.
No, you're right. So, funny is very subjective. Maar kijk, you can make a joke with me. You can make a very inappropriate joke with me, and we find it funny. Okay, you Marlo Brown specific have to watch out a little bit because I'm a little around. Maar I like sarcasm. I like the hard stuff. Dus indeed, we can for other people it might be a little inappropriate, but that's just us. If you're in a bigger crowd, normale mensen, people who will usually
Dus ik
think
niet.
van, no, you too. I think, I hope. Kijk, the jokes that I make with you, I will not make with my director at work.
Right.
Because I know they're eigenlijk, basically this is what I know. I know they're eigenlijk offensive. I know that. Dus dan weet je, you cannot make those jokes.
But wait a minute.
Why? Yeah.
All of this comes back down to I think I might make a stance here. I think I might make a bit of a stance, and not so much a stance of keep this, leave that, whatever. It's just more like I genuinely think, and this goes back to the last segment too, like as well. I think that cancel culture, how it started, was a vote with your pocketbook type thing. It started like out of a boycott thing. Like if this company is like raping seals, I will not spend money at this company like anymore because it has come to light. So I vote with my dollars and I won't do this anymore. Yeah. But cancel culture, especially in the Western places, in Nederland too as well, we've seen examples. I think that they've gone a little too much in the direction of the punitive and too little in the direction of the learning moment or the teachable moment, right? Last segment we was talking about.
It depends. Like if you're hard-headed, sorry, at a certain point, hello, no, you should have learned your lesson.
Okay, Geert Wilders deserves to be canceled. I give you that. But this is the problem though, because, and rightfully so, don't even get me wrong, rightfully so, marginalized people are pissed off and they're not taking it no more. Across the board, you know what I mean? People are standing up for who they are and what it is, and they've been made fun of, and bad jokes and bad caricatures and bad stereotypes and all that shit has been dealt with for a long time. But in that, I think there is a date, like at no point is shouting nuance. If you shout, even in righteousness, even if the right thing is right or whatever, if you shout, you have a very big chance of trampling over something you're not supposed to trample over. And that for me is where I would prefer not shout, even with the hard-headed one. I would prefer hit and to come back. I would prefer hit him with a Bugs Bunny type vibe. I would prefer hit him with like, like I would outsmart my oppressor rather than outshout him or beat him in the head or whatever.
But wait. How do you outsmart your oppressor?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
Dude, let me show you something right now, right? My oppressor already has a low opinion like of me. So I ain't gonna make him smart about that up until it's time. If you have a low opinion like of me, go right ahead. I will get you good and comfortable up until I'm close enough to slit your throat. Metaphorically, of course. Right? That's to me is the smart move. Is like people have their preconceptions. So let me put it in a way that you can understand, or not you, but the royal you, right? If a girl thinks that I'm a dork and I'm trying to holler like at her, right? She's not giving me no play because she thinks I'm a dork. I'm not gonna cuss, fight, or whatever, whatever, whatever. I will subtly try to change her mind if I can, and not in a Pepe Le Pew way, but like show her that I'm a man of the world, show her that I am, and not push it upon her. But yo, I read Tolstoy, I cook, I clean, I do these things. I'm not just the person that you think I am. You understand what I mean? That's you being smart about the thing, or
Ja,
you're
maar
trying to
dat,
IQ the
okay,
thing.
that is all fun and well, helemaal leuk, geweldig. But that
Maar
only happens in microcosm. That can happen when you can actually talk to somebody, when you can actually have contact with somebody. But how are
right,
you gonna do it if it's a big brand name? If it's like a Adidas? No, we're not being sponsored, but like say if it's a Adidas, how you individual Marlo Brown outsmart like dat gaat gewoon. Like you can show them, yeah, but I'm smart, I'm athletic, I'm weet ik veel what it is that you want to, like the stereotype
you
that you want
know,
to counter. That like how do you go against
I think
company or
the very
even
thing that we're
government?
doing. I think the very thing that we're doing is a democratization of everything. Not like we've seen the democratization of porn through the internet, of dumb shit through the internet, of comic book culture, all these things. I think now finally societies across the world are getting bright to the power of what can be done. And for good or for ill, I think that people are using new media, new versions of things. I think that we're part of the same process by doing this. I think that new ways of getting to people is starting to work. And you could say what you want about the old guard, but it's either they get down or they lay down. And laying down means that they're going to die at some point. I'm sorry to be morbid. People have to die at some point, and at some point, it has to be left up to us. I think that people 10 years up, 10 years down from us, let's call it up until about maybe 55 years old, they're starting to get wise. They might not agree to it. They might not like it. They don't like how morals and things are changing. I think the LGBTQ question, quagmire, whatever, that's a big one for them, especially the ones that are older than us. But for once, our age, it's getting there. And for us, those younger, it's not even an issue much like anymore. For a good amount of them, it's a thing of time. But I think that the avenues of we don't need a newspaper, we don't need a radio station, we don't need a TV station. I got an internet, I got my phone, I got my camera. Fuck you, I'm gonna bring this forward. And I think that has slowly come into the forefront. You know what I mean? So all these
Maar
things are getting dealt with.
yeah, but listen, if we go back to the thing you started with, like, with the offensive jokes, for example. Um, why do I have to make a joke at the expense of someone else? Like I can make jokes about I can make jokes about my family, maar like as soon as I go at the expense of someone else, waarom? Like why are you doing that? Like yeah, waarom moet het? You ain't got nothing else to joke about.
May
Like
may I posit something? And believe it or not, you've asked this question to somebody who has thought about that for a long time, right? There are two universal truths about comedy, right? The first one is comedy works when you're punching up. So if you're marginalized and you're talking about your oppressor, comedy works. If you're the
yeah,
oppressor,
agree.
talking about the marginalized is not good.
No,
It's not
agree.
good. It is mean. It is mean spirited. It is mean or
Agreed.
whatever, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that in comedy, what happens or what tends to happen is that the aha moment is similar to the haha moment. I heard I heard fucking Jimmy Carr talking about this. He said that the comedy, it is the recognition of something wrong, or something that ain't quite fit, or a hypocrisy or whatever, and the comedian translates that in a way that everybody knows, but nobody knows how to say. So he says it for everybody, right? When you have those two things working in tandem, working properly, then you have good comedy. And this is why, for example, Richard Pryor, Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, like these guys were successful, even like Eddie Murphy back in the day, because they weren't punching down and they were talking on something that we all kind of agree upon, but we don't know how to say. When you make a joke at somebody's expense is because the person genuinely might not see where they're going wrong. So, for example, I love the jokes about black family dynamics and whatnot. So you got the drunk uncle, you got the matriarch, you got, like the dad who's suffering if he's trying, or he's not even there, the kids that are just badass. I love those jokes,
Oh,
even though those stereotypes just come forward a lot.
Wait. Okay, yeah, cool, those jokes. Wow, wow, wow. Maar does it matter for you who brings the jokes? Does it matter if it's a black person or a white person?
It doesn't matter as much as you think it would have. As long as the person has talent. Again, not everybody could make anybody laugh. Not everybody could do that. There is a talent in being able to not just see a thing, comment on a thing, but comment on a thing that'll make you like go like, holy shit, that was actually pretty funny. You know what I mean? That I have heard white people make black jokes and it makes sense. Bill Burr does, like, this is where he lives. Bill Burr lives with this, you check? And he catches flack for it because it's not PC, but at the same time, it's fucking funny and it's fucking hilarious. And those that go into comedy a bit, they can definitely see that there's some craft in that too, like as well. He's not just talking like out of his ass, you know what I mean? There is something to it. And I genuinely feel that in the sense of comedy, in the sense of art, in the sense of a lot of things, cancel culture needs to take just a little bit, like ease off the gas a bit. Ease off the gas just a tad, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I find it a difficult subject. What is allowed or accepted and stuff. Kijk, for me, comedy, especially satire, this is gewoon the core of satire. I find comedy can be raw, comedy can be offensive. To me, for comedy, there's hardly any limit. You can go crazy, and there will be jokes that I don't find nice. There will be jokes that I personally feel offended by. But I feel in the spirit of comedy, personally, I find you can go very far, because that is, to me, also one of the roles of the comedian is to entertain us, but it's to push buttons. It's to push buttons. It's to make you question. It's to make you ponder. Dus to me, and sowieso satire is sowieso uitvergroting van alles wat vervelend is, basically.
Right.
Or what you don't like about yourself, or it is gewoon confronting you with a sort of mirror, eigenlijk. So in comedy, I find you can go quite far. Right. Want het is duidelijk, this is a comedian, this is a show, ik ga daar naartoe, I know this person is playing a role, I know this person is working on stereotypes, I know this person is exaggerating, all these things.
Wait.
Hey. Yeah.
Wait, no, but I would make a caveat with that last one, dude. Not everybody is in on the joke. This was seen. This is definitely seen. Dave Chappelle, to come back to one of my favorite comics, famously left his ultra successful show on Comedy Central back in 2003, where he said, I didn't know if they were laughing with me or at me anymore. If they were, because he was on some very racially sensitive things, and he was making, like, he was shining a spotlight on a lot of hypocrisies, but it was done in such a way and so well as to be kind of hidden. Another example of that was the Stephen Colbert effect. If anybody who watches late night from the States or whatnot for the past 20 years, they know that first it was the Daily Show that really burst out with that, and one of the guys that came out of that was Stephen Colbert, and he came with the Colbert Report. But what he did, and to comment on what you were talking about, he did satire on the type of opinions and news that Fox News did. But get to find out, half of his popularity was Republicans and fucking right wing people not getting the joke and thought that he was serious. You know what I mean? So I'm not always there that people get the joke. I'm not always there that people. Yeah, like that one is a little rough.
That's a different discussion if people get the joke, because that's what I say. To me, a comedian can go very far. A comedian can cross the line, but I also said it doesn't mean that you're funny. I'm gonna feel, or somebody's gonna feel offended. Like you can be a comedian and you can fill your show with jokes about Hitler. Do not go perform that show in Holland. Do not go perform that show in Germany or in Israel. In the States, well, basically almost nowhere. You can make those jokes, and I say as a comedian, go ahead, but you have to understand cause and effect. You make those jokes, and you're not going to be found funny. And your job or your goal as a comedian is to be funny. You have a responsibility also to question yourself. What is funny to my audience? And sometimes zit je ernaast. Maar I find you can do whatever. Maar don't be surprised if the thing comes and bites you in the ass.
But wait. Okay.
Yeah.
I can agree with that statement of don't be surprised. But I think you and I disagree on one thing, but I do got to ask you this first before I make my mind up. Is it the responsibility of the artist towards the audience? Like, if I'm writing the thing that I write and I do the thing that I do, and I'm sharing the thing that I know that I love or whatever, do you think that I'm supposed to keep the audience or potential audience in mind? I'm just putting my thing out there is what I'm feeling as an artist.
Ja, maar
whatever it is.
Dat is gewoon de vraag. En that is a very, I think, probably Western idea of thinking.
Right.
I'm an artist. And I feel my art is op zichzelf. My art is standalone, and this is what I portray. But I think that is gewoon delusional thinking, because you are an artist, comedian, painter,
as well as the artist community, fuck it.
actor, whatever. You are an artist, but you have a relation to your work, and your work is gonna be seen by people, and it will have an effect on your audience. So I think it's gewoon ridiculous when artists say, yeah, I just made it for the arts. It is gewoon art, and I don't fucking care.
You think it's an excuse?
Kan je wel doen, but I don't know if it's an excuse. That is gewoon arrogance, and you're not living in a vacuum. And the moment that you are going to display your work, you're gonna perform a show, you're gonna do, you intend somebody to see it. Als het gewoon art was voor art, and you don't care, doe het in je huis, hang het lekker daar, praat, do your routine in front of the mirror, doe het daar. Maar you feel the need to engage, you as an artist, feel the need to engage with a public. And when you're engaging, I think you have a little bit of a responsibility to think of how things will be received. Now, it can be that is especially your intention. Think of columnists, think of journalists, think of other artists. Some people make provocative works, but the intention behind the work is provocation. Dus je denkt er al aan. So you're incorporating, of course you cannot foresee all the reactions and you cannot foresee everything, but there is a process of thought, I want people to be riled up. I want people to be upset. I want people to do something. You have an intention with your work. So if people say, yeah, but it's just art for art, that is bullshit. You have an intention with your work. And if you don't, dan ben je gewoon stupid. Je moet er even over nadenken. And indeed, so I'm not saying go censor yourself. Don't censor yourself. But don't be surprised if people get upset. Because dat kan je van tevoren wel bedenken. And there are sometimes you make a work or you say something and it has the unintentional consequence that people get upset. Dat kan. Je hebt er niet over nagedacht. You're in your bubble, you're privileged, whatever. But as soon as people tell you, hey, listen, I thought I was not cool, dan moet je er wat mee. Then you have to respond. You can either apologize and say, oh, sorry, I didn't know. Whatever, or you can ignore it. But if you ignore it, then don't be surprised that you might end up canceled. Because you have a freedom of speech, last one. You have the freedom of speech, but it is not unlimited, hè? Dus mijn is eindigt waar die van jou begint. So I can mine is eindigt waar die van jou begint. And sometimes it clashes. And then it's gewoon a struggle and you see what comes out. Maar you have to be conscious that what you present, what you put out there will have an effect. And you cannot be upset with the reaction that it has, I find.
You find.
Because as much as I have the right to say whatever the hell I want, the other one has a right to feel about it, whatever the hell they want, and react to me also.
But then that brings, and I think we are rounding off to maybe the last part of this conversation because it got juicy and it got sweet. But anyway,
no, let's continue a little bit, no?
Yeah, I know. So we because this is gonna end off the goddamn show. But anyway,
okay, wait. Take a break?
No. We're not taking a break. Fuck you. No. Fuck you. We're not taking a break. Or if we take a break, we're gonna take a quick one, and you gotta refill your drink and get the fuck out.
No break. Continue. No, right. But I want to take it back to the cancel culture gedoe.
Cancel culture.
Because are you saying that it's a beetje overdreven, the cancel culture?
No, wait. Let me be absolutely clear. I think cancel culture in the States is overdreven. I think part of that has leaked into Nederland, and I worry that it'll leak down here as well from two sides. Deels van Nederland, deels van dinges. Ik heb zeker vrienden. Ik heb zeker vrienden die al nu, bijvoorbeeld, niet. There was a point in time when I lived in Nederland about 11 years ago, where nobody had, like, no Dutch person had any problem whatsoever telling, like, an Antilliaanse joke, you know? Like, them boy would be like, yo, Dread, a Moroccan, an Antillean, and numero. They're on the car. Like, who is driving? The cops. Ha! You know, like that type of shit. Like, they would bring that shit cool to me. You know what I mean? Now, every Dutch person I know is on pins and needles. Every Dutch person I know
around you.
Because I give them 1-4. Because I tell them what the fuck is going on. I tell them that I don't play that shit. You know what I mean? But at the same time, basically what it is that, but at least there is a voorgedachte van, hey, luister, I'm being problematic now, you know? So I'm saying,
yeah.
Wait, my thing is I enjoy let me hold up some brakes and let me think about myself and let me double check what my privilege is. I enjoy that, and that's cool, and let's go from there, you know what I mean? But I don't think, especially where art is concerned, we can talk about problematic like politicians and statements and journalists and weet ik veel, all of that shit, but not artists. I think the artist needs a little bit of a freedom to do weird shit, to do odd shit.
No.
You know what I mean?
You have the freedom. But
right.
Do not be surprised
when somebody calls you on your shit.
Yes, you have the freedom. And maybe the whole calling out on the shit is part of your experiment. Mm-hmm. Maybe. But maybe it's just your privilege.
No, and but listen. I can go with that in a zin van, because for every good artist, you have 10 pretentious ones too as well. Let's be straight about that. right? I don't care who the fuck I offend with this. There's a lot of people who will say that this is art, and just what that you kind of like alluded to, like as well, they would say this is what it is and this is what it not, but they can't defend it. There was no like in that same vein, they were kind of chasing a trend. They see that something is working, or they see that shock value is working, or whatever the fuck is working. I painted all of this with my period blood. What the fuck, bitch? Why are you doing that? You know what I mean?
No, nothing wrong with period paintings.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is like, man, stop. No, but what I'm saying is that when you press that same artist about, okay, but why the period blood? Why that gross out factor? You know what I mean? Like, if she don't come with menstruation splaining
factor, Marlo.
Wait, if she don't come back to me with menstruation splaining from a life did, and she have all her facts in a row and she studied the damn thing, I just thought it would be cool. Okay, all right. You know what? Fine. Like, you're not like educating me no more. Fuck it.
It's a valid reason if you say, I thought it would be cool. But to me, then you should take into account that you're gonna get some
backlash.
A little bit of
yes,
and that's the thing. To me, that's the thing. And about this whole cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
I think like you need to call people out on their shit, and because a lot of people say this thing like you say, you can't make a joke anymore. I heard that so many times before. It is gewoon, you could never actually make the joke, and now people are finally calling you out on your bullshit. Dat is het eigenlijk, and it's more shocking that in the past you didn't have anybody around you who was able to say it or who felt empowered to say it. Maar okay, fine. So you do some nonsense, I'll call you out on that bullshit, and then you need to make you need to show progress. You need to repent a little bit, maybe. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know if you did, but today it's so hard. In 2021, it's so hard to claim I didn't know. But okay, still people live in their bubbles. It's possible. I'm sorry, didn't mean to offend. And then you need to take steps to show that you are at least pondering the problematic things of your either statement, artwork, or whatever. But that is what really doesn't happen. A lot of time people say, a lot of time people say sorry, just to avoid a whole media frenzy and to avoid in their mind being canceled. But sorry is cheap. You need to back it up with something.
No, but I could definitely agree with that for one simple thing is like, especially when it comes to corporations, they tend to say sorry. People like the rabble rousers, they tend to back off a bit. Everybody goes to their corner and then we're done. Where's the teachable like for me, where's the teachable moment? Where is this was wrong because, you know what I mean? And this is how this could be.
But the onus of that is on who?
The onus of that is, listen, if I'm telling you you're fucking wrong, I have to explain you why. As a parent, I can't just like beat my kid's head in and tell him he's wrong and not explain him why, because then he's going to fucking do it again. You understand what I mean? At the very least, I have to be like, yo, this was wrong because, and this affects this, and this affects that, and this.
Well,
hold on. I'm not done yet, man. Jesus Christ. I've been good the whole fucking podcast. Stop. Right? No, but look, but it is also on him. The whole fucking hell. There it is.
That's your producer.
That's the producer. For y'all that ain't really figured this fuck out yet, yo, dude, go read a book. Whatever the fuck.
Marlo, continue your
but listen, but it's not just on me to show my son a better way. It is on him to learn. If he does not show growth, remorse, whatever the fuck, if she does not show growth, remorse, whatever the fuck, then we got to go back to the drawing board. You understand what I mean? Like, I'm willing, but you're not able. You check what I mean? And then there's something that got to be dealt with that.
Yeah.
And the onus is not on me to come over the bridge to help you learn. You need to be willing to learn. Period. If you say you're sorry, it needs to be in the action. That's just what it is. You check what I mean? Like there is no two ways about it. I tell you, hey, I don't want you to walk on my foot. It does my toe a lot of pain, right? You say sorry. You say, yo, it won't happen again. Whatever the fuck. Next week, the same fucking thing happens again. Then you're not sorry. Then you're doing it because now you got foreknowledge as well. Then it has to be in a different way. So either I got to do. Then is when I feel okay, fine. Cancel culture, all that shit. Kick them in the head. You check what I mean? What I fear with cancel culture is that there's a mob mentality behind of it in the very first instance, in the very beginning of it. There is no forethought. There is no, like, you know what? Like Pepe Le Pew to me, just as you said, just as how we go all the way back towards the start. Pepe Le Pew and that moment in Space Jam where he was called out on his behavior did not have to be pulled. That was a perfect moment to address the fucking thing, absolve your sins, say it was something of the past, all that shit. But instead, you go with what rabble rousers are giving you. Rabble rousers on the left, by the way.
But
rabble rousers are giving you.
Okay, I get this inderdaad, Pepe Le Pew. I follow this inderdaad. Maar oké, nu with the Dr. Seuss, I didn't grow up with Dr. Seuss, by the way, but I heard it in pop culture things.
Green eggs and ham, dude. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like I said, like one, I'm not American. Two, I didn't watch TV until I was like 11. Dus,
okay, fine.
Please. Maar the Dr. Seuss, because you said, yeah, okay, with Pepe Le Pew, it was a teachable moment. Maar what could a Dr. Seuss do? Like, is it in Dr. Seuss? What did you find about the estate pulling the 6 books?
I think that it, like the hubbub around Dr. Seuss was more politically expedient, especially if you know the political landscape of the states. It is literally Republicans grasping at something not to look bad. So that's the practicality of it. Of the estate itself and what they could have done a little stronger. Messaging is always a part of the thing in 2021. How you bring the message like how you bring it across and how you explain yourself and what and so. Burger King also had a big cancel moment or nearly cancel moment this week gone to like as well, because on International Women's Day, Burger King in the States decided to run an ad that said with a big fucking tagline, big fucking headline, women need to be in the kitchen. Wait, what? How do you mean? But then they explain themselves. Okay. Exactly.
They were grappig and sarcastic.
Right.
Dan
right. But wait. You caught that. You caught that. How Burger King rolled it out, and especially in tweet form, because it was tweet form at first before it was in the newspaper, right? In the tweet form, all they said was women belong in the kitchen. That was it. And then in the thread, you have to read the thread to like go through the thing. Now, there's a case to be made of, yo, you need to read the whole fucking thing before you make an opinion. But at the same time, Burger King should have fucking well known that, yo, Joe, you need to add to that to give context just in the first tweet alone. You understand what I mean? There is something to be said for messaging. There is something to be said for how do I bring this thing across? Any person, I don't care who the fuck you are, but if you have a significant other, right? You live with a person, and that person has their mood swings, they has their moments, they have the thing. If you have to bring bad news to that person, I don't care who you are. You as a significant other supposed to know your significant other is a little bit more pliable when they have eaten. You do not bring bad news to people when they're hungry. You check what I mean? That is messaging. That is fucking messaging. That is being a little bright about the fucking thing. I do not bring bad news to my wife before she's eaten. After and I make sure she's well full. I give her all the fucking thing. I give her 3-course meal and the fucking foot rub and every fucking thing.
Whatever.
Babe, I got some bad news. You understand what I mean? That is when you bring messaging makes sense in 2021. And I think the elders, especially who have the reins in hand, they don't quite get that now. And that's
Yeah,
to
I
come
think
back
they
all the way
get, but they
around.
don't care. They just don't care.
Fine, but it still is it's like still is a hell of a factor. How the thing looks, how the thing brings across, how the thing plays, or whatever the fuck. You need to work with it. You check what I mean?
But that to bring it back to Dr. Seuss, because before Dr. Seuss, you were saying about a teachable moment, this, that, and the other.
Mhm.
Maar inderdaad, what a Dr. Seuss do, a children's book author with his children's book. Of course, if it's written, I don't know what is it, the 40s or so, weet ik veel wanneer Dr. Seuss was.
Dr. Seuss was between 1934 and 19, I want to say 68. I want to say,
No,
but I'm bad with my dates. I would be honest.
these books, you have to see them in the context of their time. So of
Sowieso.
course, if we're looking at them now, it is gewoon like, what the fuck? That's what you call voortschrijdend inzicht. I don't know what voortschrijdend inzicht in English is.
I
You
don't
grow,
know what it is, but I know what you're talking about. But yeah,
you
but
grow, you
like
develop, you change ideas
right.
and thoughts, and so because you said earlier about the teachable moments, and I mean a thing like a book from 1934, there is no way to change that. To me, you have to see it in historical context. The book now is a very valuable historical book. It will give you an idea of how people thought about others, about marginalized groups. It will give you an idea of the pedagogiek van die tijd and all those kind of things. Maar het is niet meer van deze tijd. So I find it heel logical and normal that the estate says, you know what, these books, and I understood that those books were not being sold anyhow for a long time. The books hardly sell. So that they pull the books, and there is no teachable moment. The teachable moment is, yes, we used to think that way, and now we don't. So we move
Exactly.
on. It's a book. It was leuk. It had its fun, and now we have another 20 million books that you can read that are still relevant, that are not harmful to specific groups. And here, go enjoy the book. So I do not understand what the whole fuss is about. Sommige dingen verdwijnen. That is just the way of the world. Like at a certain point, having slaves was for a certain group very normal. Hello, people came to their senses. Well, let's not go into the details how and what, or at a certain point, indeed, say a woman's places in the kitchen was very normal. Nobody would say anything about it. Maar times change, and you just need to get with the program. And if you don't, people will call you out, and then you just in Dutch say you moet zitten op de blaren, you have to sit on the blisters. Sorry, you have to sleep or lay in the bed that you made now.
This is what it is. I would love to continue this conversation with you, and you know that we can go for another 3 fucking hours with this, but I think it's about that time, sweetheart. I think it's about that
We
time.
can. My drink is like finished. Oh, my invisible glass, of course, again.
Of course, but I too am about here. So
Salud. In Bolivia, they say salud seco. So then you have to drink everything one time. Salud seco.
I'm not drinking every fucking thing. Fuck that. Because I'm not in Bolivia. Fuck that. But I will say though, I did thoroughly enjoy this episode. Jesus Christ. You have anything to plug this week, so love? You have a mutual friend of ours. Maybe he might be on the show, but Zanolino, what the fuck his name is?
Manny Sanolino.
Gio. He opened his gallery, and it looking very good, looking very decent. I would encourage anybody on the island of Curacao to go through Punda. Definitely take a look at a historical building that was restored and given to the arts world. And I wish him the best of luck with him.
On the corner across from Vigilante.
Yes. That's what I've got to plug, if there's a plug to be had, because it's not really a plug, it's more just Jesus Christ, this is interesting, you know what I mean? And I would hope that everybody would take a look at this thing or whatever. This week is elections for us. Parliamentarian. God help us all. Oh boy.
Pray, I will chant, I will meditate.
I'm gonna sacrifice a goat and a chicken. Excuse me.
For us on the island of Curacao, also please do vote. I know it's a big mess, and yeah, just vote, exercise your rights, and
Please
you know.
do. And vote your conscience, huh? Don't like it sounds dumb and it sounds wrong, but I gotta add to that. Don't sell your vote, man. Or at the very least, fool the person that you're selling your vote and take the fucking thing and vote properly like any fucking way. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, yeah, like if you keep running around in the same bullshit, you're gonna get the same bullshit. That's what it is. Whew. I think we're done, sweetheart. I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think we're done. We've been preachy, we've been introspective, we've been funny, we've been every fucking thing. I think we're done.
All right, everybody. My name is Denise Faber. This is Marlo Brown.
That's right.
And we're signing off. Deuces.
Peace.